What's up, nerds? We're your hosts. I am Chad.
And I am Jake. This is our weekly podcast where we explore the world of nerd from TV, movies, games, comics, news, and books.
We will give you our opinions, theories, and oftentimes spoilers.
We will also have friends and experts as guests on the show to elaborate further on those topics.
But be prepared. We like to have a few drinks, so buckle up.
If you want to support our show, like, share, and subscribe wherever you enjoy your podcasts.
You can also become a premium subscriber over at buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd.
So let's get into it. This is the All Things Nerd podcast.
Nerd. Welcome, nerds, to the All Things Nerd podcast, your weekly dive into all things nerd. Now, Jake, I hope that you had a good week this past week. But let's just jump right into our first topic. But before that, cheers.
Missed.
Goose for ba.
My bad. I went to throw the cap of that soda into my garbage can and I missed, and I was like, "Oh, I missed." And then I looked at you and you're like, "Dude, go." And I'm like, "Oh fuck, my bad." My bad. So the first topic we're going to talk about today is Invincible Season 2, Episode 5, now streaming on Amazon Prime. Before we jump into it, as always, spoiler alerts ahead. If you haven't seen it, check back in later.
I mean, holy crap. It feels like a new season, just based on how the first one.
It started with where the last episode ended, which was just Mark like bleeding out in the desert of, this
Bug
insect planet. Yeah. But yeah, it does have kind of a feel to it where it's almost like everything's going well.
Yeah, like it has a new focus compared to... Even though it was only 4 episodes for the first part of Season 2, it felt like so much happened, 100%, but it wrapped up and ended on a cliffhanger, which is kind of like, the mid-series finale trope that we get, so often. But... And then to come back into this, and it's been a couple of months, so it both does and doesn't feel like a new season.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that they did really well for the show. At least for the season, because we didn't have that in Season 1.
They kind of... They kind of made it... Sorry, I'm so sorry. You can edit that. Let me start that over. Do the thing.
No, just keep going. It's fine.
Okay. They kind of set it up in the first half of the episode where it's like slower and happy and blah, blah, blah. And then they give you that invincible bullshit that we love so much in the back half of the episode. So much blood. So much death. They kill some major characters, and it's like, fuck, dude. I don't know, dude. It's fucking crazy. There is one thing. I'm gonna wait till we get through this a little bit, but yeah. I noticed something. That I watched it this second time around today, before we started recording. I did notice something new. And I'd like to talk about it, but I'll wait until we're done talking here. But what are your thoughts on?
Yeah, a lot of this episode, it felt like Season 1, Episode 1, where it's like happy-go-lucky, like things are going well.
Hmm.
Even though it started like on a bloody mess for the first little bit, but
Hmm.
then like kind of like Mark regaining his strength or finding his powers, those parallels, and then he goes back to Earth, and
With
then
a
at the end
stowaway.
with a stowaway, which will I'll or we will touch on that here in a second, but and then that was a weird way to phrase it. I apologize, and listeners will understand why that
The
sounded
child,
weird.
Chad.
Yeah, exactly. Um, but then towards the end, it almost mirrors season 1, episode 1, where the Guardians of the Globe get slaughtered.
Yeah.
Not completely 1-to-1, but kind of has that vibe.
We gave you a spoiler warning, so if you are like, "Oh, god damn it, they ruined something," it's your own fault. So,
Yeah, it's true. Wh- what were you gonna say?
you want me to do it now? Okay, I'll do it now.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
so
we try to be non-linear to avoid
yeah, we were
a
talking
complete
about
summary,
we
non-retelling.
on the first half of this season, you and I were talking about that the shattering glass
Mm-hmm.
for the opening sequence, because in the
Yeah.
first season it was Invincible's name, and it was getting bloodier and bloodier and bloodier every episode. Uh, and this season there's been it's been like a black and red Invincible, and it's been getting shattered like glass, and every episode the glass is shattering and shattering more. What I noticed today when I rewatched it, um, is that underneath is the blue and yellow original Invincible colors. So it's not what I don't think it's what we originally thought, that it's more of like a breaking of his mind rather than the breaking of his body in the first season. I think that because he was so broken and whatever at the end of season 1 and into this season, that he's finding that at the end of this season he's going to be finding his way back to his original self. I
That
think that's what that means.
that's incredible. I mean, I didn't notice the yellow coming back in, because for the first part of this season, like it was all the exterior
Hmm.
parts. So like the black background would crack and fade away, and then you'd see the blue.
Hmm.
But the lettering for Invincible is still that like blood red.
Yeah.
Um,
But
I
underneath it, it's starting to show as the original colors.
that's so cool. I didn't catch that. Um,
We talked a
and
lot about it in the beginning of in saying that we're like, oh man, what are they gonna? They can't like fuck him up every season. That'll be like, So what are they gonna fuck up this season now? And we were thinking that the shattering glass was like his mental state,
yeah.
but I think it's actually just him becoming more invincible.
And also, like, obviously, like, blue to black isn't on a color wheel scheme is not opposites, but
Yeah.
you always hear, beaten black and blue. So blue turns to black, beat to shit. But on the color wheel, from like red to yellow is not directly opposite, but
Yeah.
so they're kind of like inverse, right? So then seeing that like chip away to get back to like his core of him being who he is,
Invincible.
such a cool like thing to notice, because I was just like, oh, they can't just keep, because in season 1, the blood splattering, it just got more and more and more. At some point in time, it's just gonna be covered.
Yeah.
Like you
So
can't go anywhere from there.
yeah.
So that's I didn't notice as it cracked away that the lettering for Invincible went from red back to the yellow,
Mhm.
which is so cool.
My
I've said
guess
so
would
cool
be
like 1,000 times. I'm sorry, everyone.
my guess would be that in the last episode, now that Omni-Man is, I'm air quoting for those of you who are listening and not watching, uh, is out of the picture, uh, Invincible is the strongest person on Earth, defender on Earth.
Hmm.
And I think that my prediction is that at the last episode, when they do the Invincible part, the glass is all going to shatter away, and it's going to be just a solid logo of Invincible, which would just be him stepping up as like Earth's like mightiest hero. I sound like fucking Stan. I feel like fucking Stan Lee, but or Endgame.
I
Yeah.
was waiting. I was waiting for you to say Earth's mightiest hero, because if you didn't, I was going to. But I think that that's very real and
It'd be really
accurate for
funny
this.
if we're wrong, and it's
No,
not that. That'd be hilarious. But that's
I
what I
would
think
love
is
to be
going on.
proven wrong. I love being proven wrong on theories. Well, let me rephrase that. I hate being wrong, but I love when my theory, in my opinion. So it's very egocentric of being like, I think my theory is great, and then someone else comes along, or it's proven to be like, you're wrong, and we did it better. And then I'm like, yeah, that is better. You're right. Thanks. Um, can I use my phone call now to call my mom? I need her to pick me up. Mom, everyone's bullying me.
Well,
Um,
I feel like in this episode, the back half of the episode is where it shines. There is kind of like a subplot. There's like a big thing that's happening, and Cecil is like, "We got to take care of this," but then there's something else that's happening on the underside of it, and
there's like
that's kind of
three or four
the
things happening.
it's kind of like the meat and potatoes of the episode, and it's fucked up.
Yeah.
We lost some really good people out there
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So,
playing for the Yankees.
well, they're not the 29 Yankees, so um, clearly not. But during this, I mean, we do get the, and this is what's fucked up about it, is the Guardians of the Globe, right? They're the Avengers, the Earth's mightiest heroes.
Like the Yankees,
Yeah, from 1929, just unstoppable. But it's those goddamn pinstripes, you know. Road to Perdition reference, anyone? No? Okay, cool. Just go fuck myself. No, but the as we saw in season 1, the sequids, the little squid monster things from Mars, are now on their way to Earth because they inhabited a human astronaut, and we're like, oh, we can fuck that shit up. So all of the heroes that can't be affected realistically from these sequids, except for like Adam Eve, and Rudy inside of Robot, who was like, let me get out of the robot and I'll create a bomb. Dumb. Zachary Quinto do better. It's not his fault. It's the writing. And there's a point to it. But, anyways, so all the people that aren't as powerful are left on Earth, and they're like, yeah, it's going to be a cakewalk. Like, what are the chances of, like, 2 Earth-ending problems happening at once? In famous last words. And a lot of people die. And it's brutal. And this is where I was saying about how it, like, mirrors the first episode of season 1 where Omni-Man just like takes out
The Guardians.
everyone from the Guardians. Yeah.
Except for, shockingly, the guy whose name is Immortal.
Oh, weird. Who would have thought that Immortal would have survived? Voiced by is that Ross Marquand? I don't know if I'm saying that appropriately. You'd know him if you watched The Walking Dead as Aaron.
Or also as Red Skull in Endgame.
Yep.
Or was it Endgame or Infinity War?
Yes. Both.
Right on.
Hugo Weaving didn't come back for either of those.
Yeah.
Or as the person that voiced Red Skull and Johann Schmidt in the What If series.
Yeah. He's an incredible impressionist. I saw him on sidebar here. Sorry. I saw him on, I don't remember which twat it was, but one of those fucking
the late night shows.
guys. Yeah. Jimmy
So
or
one of the
something
Jimmys.
of the yeah. And
All of the Jimmys.
his impressions are fucking insane, dude. So it makes sense that he is a really
professional
good
voice actor. You know.
Yeah,
It
is
happens.
wild. Anyways, back to it. Sorry.
Sorry, I was in the middle of taking a drink because I thought you were gonna.
Oh, I'm
keep going
sorry.
with that.
Yeah.
No, that's totally fine.
We're sorry.
We're sorry. But it gets so bloody. I mean, and
Go ahead. We lose some people.
We
Who's
lose
the
some-
fucking shrinking chick?
is it Shrinking Ray? And her name is Ray, but it's Rae.
Is that? I'm trying to find who plays her. It's got to be this Nia Funk. It's a cool ass name. Sorry.
It's a cool ass name. Yeah, but absolutely. And this is. I love how they subtly, but not so subtly for an animation, prove why the whole fan theory of Ant-Man going up Thanos' ass wouldn't have worked. That's what this is.
Yeah, that dude does squats, man. He would have just farted that little guy out.
She jumps down this monstrous dude, part of the Lizard King squad, I think they're called, or the Lizard Squad. She tries to jump into his face. He catches her, swallows her, and then Rexplode is like, she doesn't say small forever. And then she tries to expand, and the dude just like flexes, so it just like crushes her body.
Yeah.
And that was brutal.
And he just goes, yum.
While like dribbling out blood and like
Well, because he
guts.
like bites down. So when after he does that, like, and crushes her body, he goes like, and then goes yum. So his body ate her, and then he also ate her, I guess.
Yeah, as pieces started to come. He like resisted a vom.com. And a lot of people will know what I mean by that. And then also like Duplicate dies. I thought that she was gonna get away because she kind of like kicks the dude in the face while he's holding one of her, but she kicks him. She splits off, duplicates herself. Weird. So derivative. And then catches the duplication, and then just
makes them kiss each other really hard. But they die.
Yeah.
It was brutal. Even Nicole and I were watching it together, and I was like, and Cal was like sitting on Nicole's lap, watching it, and I was like, cover his eyes, because it was so bloody. And Nicole even said she's like, I know it's a cartoon, but this like kind of like upsets my stomach sometimes. And I was like,
It's brutal. I mean, Rex Blode, his hand gets bitten off.
bitten off. Yeah, that was fucking sweet.
But what's cool, he's kind of like Gambit in a way, where
Yeah.
he can touch things.
Only
and
it's not like with Gambit. It's anything that he touches, he can power up. But with Rex Splode, I think it's just does he create those discs? I don't really know
Well, he
how
has
it
like
is.
canisters, so I
Yeah.
think that it might be more like Gambit than we think, but
Yeah.
we just haven't seen him do it with a lot of.
Yeah.
That's a weird way to phrase it, especially because he's like a sex craved fuckboy.
I know, and now his threesome partner is gone.
Yeah, his
can't-
threesome slash orgy slash yeah.
No more dupla sex. It's all. Sorry.
I guess it's monogamy for him from now on. Unless the start of the next episode does not
Hopefully,
end well for him.
I was like, hopefully he's left-handed because
Yeah, one of his hands gets
one of
literally
those bitches is gone. And I'm not
bitten
talking
off.
about duplicate.
or Adam Eve, which we don't know how that goes yet, but we know because of paying attention to the graphic novels. That's besides the point.
So sorry.
Loses his hand, but he like has these discs that he like.
He's kind of
powers
more
up.
like Polka Dot Man than he is Gambit.
Yeah, but he doesn't like create the polka dots as far as we know.
Yeah,
So
just
he's
saying. He just throws
No.
balls at people.
and they are explosive. So
Yeah, it happens.
He could be somewhere between the two. Oh, I didn't even
so
think
sorry.
of. I
So
didn't even
sorry.
think of Polka Dot Man. That's hilarious.
Because most of the heroes on Invincible are derivative of like DC. Like the Guardians of the Globe is the Justice League.
Originally, and now it seems like it's leaning more
Well, yeah.
towards the Avengers.
They're running out of
But
heroes to go by.
that's the entire point of it. It's kind of like The Boys,
Mm-hmm.
which
You
makes sense because of where the artists of The Boys and the writers of The Boys and the writers and the artists of Invincible
I mean,
both came from of having
Listen.
worked for both DC and Marvel and been like,
plus, Seth Rogen, who's a big part of both of those shows, The Boys and
yeah, but
Invincible, yeah.
I think that's just because he's more of a fan of like the more gruesome aspect.
well, he's a
of-
producer on both shows.
Yeah, but I think that what I mean by that is both of these projects in the graphic novel aspect and comic book world is they're meant to show the unpleasantries
Oh yeah,
of the superhero world.
Super
strong.
Harold. Yeah, who is Harold? Chad.
Well,
Who is Super Harold?
He's really good friends with Kumar, and they once went to White Castle, or all they heart, and then the angels sang.
Which we also know, Robert Kirkman did The Walking Dead, which was also a graphic novel. So like, this is, all of this is
Yeah,
graphic,
and
very graphic.
novelized. I wanted to
Animated-
sound as profound as you did. and I failed.
Animated, gory, AF. I love
What
it.
does AF stand for? Can you please explain
As
that?
fuck.
Thank you.
Gory
Okay,
as
cool.
fuck.
Thanks. No, but
I
in
think we kind of already did the theory part of this. Do you have any other theories that you wanted to?
Well, I'm curious as to see with the guardians that can't be possessed, except for Rudy, who is the person inside of Robot.
Hmm.
I don't think anyone else can actually be possessed by the Sequids. I mean, Adam
Adam
Eve
Eve.
could, but she could
And
just
her,
like
well, her
recreate
shield
her
came
armor.
down at the end of the episode.
Well, the shield, but she also created armor before
No,
they
but
got
the
on.
armor was off at the end of the episode
Yeah, but
because she was passed out, and
she
Invincible was
passed out.
holding
You're
her.
right.
Yeah, so she was exposed.
That's a good point. I don't have a ton of theories on that. And realistically, if we're gonna take the morbid approach that the show kind of tends to lean, I don't think Rex Splode is getting out of this.
Really, I disagree with you. I think Rex is going to live. I
I
think
want him to.
I think he's too big of a character. He's lost his hand. He's fucked up. I don't know who or how or why, what, where, when, why, how, whatever. But I think somebody is going to save him at the end here, or maybe he's gonna save himself because he did fucking go God mode at the end of that episode.
He did.
Yeah,
He killed 3 of the 4 dudes
yeah.
that were there as everyone else got wiped out.
And like we talked about earlier, we think it would be a really cool. Actually, you're the one who said it. If he got, I said that I think he'll probably end up with some sort of tech hand, and then you said that you think he would end up with some sort of tech hand that could shoot his exploding discs rather than throwing them like he's been doing for the past season and a half.
That's what
I don't think he's gonna die. I don't think he's gonna die.
I would love for that to happen. But the show has kind of...
Yeah, but you don't leave that cliffhanger. You know what I mean? You don't go like, we're going to kill all these people, leave it open, and then bring it back and be like, nope, he died.
Unless
It's not Game of Thrones.
100% of him dying is for Adam Eve's character development. Because he was the one that came to her and was like, hey, we have our history, I'm sorry, but people need you, and you're important. And then it could be something that, like, motivates her, because both you and we haven't read a lot of the graphic novels or gotten through full things, but we've read it into it, and we know how powerful Adam Eve can be.
Yeah. I'm gonna read them. I'm gonna buy the whole thing. The only reason I'm not doing it right now is because I've already started watching the show, and I don't want to ruin anything for myself.
Right.
Yeah. But I think Rex is gonna survive. Probably gonna be Cecil and his... Remember in the end of season 1, he was working on those robot... Not the guy... Not the Bobby Hill looking motherfucker.
Donald.
Yeah, Donald.
But Donald could be the one that comes in and saves him.
I think... Remember he was working on those robot people from the first season that Mark fought?
Which is what Donald basically is now.
Yeah. So I think maybe Cecil's going to come in and save that situation. I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah.
we spent a lot of time on this.
Yeah, we spent a lot of energy on it, and
We
if
like
you are in
this show.
need of additional energy,
Ooh, I see what you did there. You did a good
I
job.
finally
That was
did a good one.
You did it. You did it.
If you need additional energy, check out Ray's energy drinks. They're fantastic. It's 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 crash. And if you're not a fan of energy drinks, that's totally fine, because they have so much more for you to choose from protein-packed desserts, some plant-based options, and all kinds of delicious, yummy things. So listen up and learn how to save 15% from Raise Energy. What's up, nerds? I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about Raise Energy, an incredible energy drink that provides max energy with zero crash. Raise Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring a powerful, yet sustained, energetic experience to help you push your workouts and focus to the next level. Perfect for anyone at any time, empowered by their refresh formula technology, Raise Energy delivers a performance-enhancing energy drink that aids in multiple different categories that include targeted focus, better recovery time, improved clean energy levels, and a boost in stamina and hydration. But most importantly, every can of Raise Energy has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. So don't settle for an energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, head over to repsports.com. That's REPPSPORTS.com and use the promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout for 15% off your order. Or if you don't know what you want, go ahead and click the link that's in the description to get a $50 sample pack for free. All you do is you cover the cost of shipping. Again, make sure you use promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout to let them know that we sent you. All right, everyone. We're going to get into some trivia, but we've rebranded it a little bit so that you can find it easier across our social medias. So if you want to find it, it is called Trivial Nerd Suit, or you can go hashtag Trivial Nerd Suit on Instagram and most places that uses the hashtag. This question is presented by Marty, once again, over at Digicat Tech. We will be posting something shortly if you want to try and stump us on our Instagram, which is at All Things Nerd Pod, or is it All Things Nerd Podcast, on Instagram. You just tell us who the question is for, and then we will post it, and the other person won't see it. We'll get to that later. This question is for Jake. That was super sloppy of me. I'm so sorry. Do you want to do that again, or just go? Cool.
Go.
So this question is for Jake from Marty over at Digicat Tech. Jake, this masterless samurai, or Ronin, hails from an alternate feudal Japan populated by evolved animals and debuted with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in their 1987 animated series, later appearing in the 2003 and 2012 animated iterations. Known for his samurai ethos and swordsmanship, he forms a profound bond with Leonardo. In May 2011, he earned the 92nd spot of IGN's top 100 comic book heroes of all time. Who is this distinguished samurai warrior?
Holy fuck. That's so much information. I wish maybe in the future, maybe you can post the question so I can read it myself and not the answer, so that, like, on my side, because that is a lot of information for me to...
I can send it over our Zoom chat right now.
Yeah, do that. Let me read that.
Just so that you don't have, like, hours to prepare for it, you know?
Yeah.
So this Ronin from alternate reality feudal Japan, where it's a bunch of evolved animals.
Evolved animals.
Think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Did you send it?
Yeah.
Oh, you did. Okay. Okay.
Through the Zoom chat. Yeah.
Oh shit! It's like fucking skinny. Okay. Okay. Sorry for the silence. I gotta read. Uh,
Read it out loud.
okay. This masterless samurai or Ronin hails from alternate feudal Japan, populated by evolved animals, debuted with the Teenage Mutant Turtles in their 1987 series, later appearing in the 2003 and 2012 animated iterations. Known for his samurai ethos and swordsmanship, he forms a profound bond with Leonardo. In May 2011, he earned the 92nd spot, IGN's top 100 comic book heroes of all time. Animal. It's a guy. He's a. Is he? Oh, you won't tell me. Is he an animal himself, or does he just hail from?
That I feel
That
like
would give it away.
I feel like it wouldn't have given it away for me because my original guess was not this person. And learning more, I was like, I just would have never guessed. No, you don't Google. You put away those keyboards.
I'm not going. I'm on my phone. I'm talking to Nicole.
Same.
No.
Oh, that's a weird thing to say same to. That I was not Googling.
You talking to Nicole?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, asking about my nephew.
I don't know if I think maybe I have an idea, but
they are an animal.
they are an animal.
Which
Here, hands up.
the further my first guess was not an animal. But I didn't read the TMNT like comics or anything.
I didn't read the comics. I definitely watched the cartoons, the movies. I don't know. The only Ronin. You're not recording right now, are you?
I am.
Oh, you are. Okay.
We're back to recording. Sorry.
Okay. I don't. The only Ronin I can think of, obviously, is one of the Ninja Turtles, and that's after all the other turtles are dead. And you said it is a animal, like hybrid, whatever.
Well, a matchless samurai is a Ronin. That was one of the things that I reworded that might have helped. Clearly, it was wrong to do that. A matchless samurai is a Ronin.
Oh, what samurai?
Masterless.
Thank you. You were slurring your words.
Oh, God.
You were like a mashless Ronin.
Masterless samurai.
Fuck. Oh man, I don't want to spend too much time on this because I don't want to like annoy our. But you can edit shit out too, right?
Yeah, and it's only been
Yeah.
a couple of minutes. You're fine. Just
I'm just trying to like rack my brain. Give me.
think out loud while you do it, though.
I am. I'm alternate dimension where animal people are a thing. Also a Ronin makes friends with Ninja Turtles. Sorry.
You're like talking in your hands. So I was like,
I know. Yeah. I'm thinking. I'm fucking thinking, dude.
I know. I'm
Tales
just
from
teasing you.
alternate feudal Japan. By evolved animals and in 2003 and 2012 animated generations.
Do
Known for
you?
his Is he a panda?
No, it's not Kung Fu
Is
Panda.
it Jack Black?
No, but I do. If I have one hint for you,
Okay. I'll take it. No shame.
they had this masterless samurai had their own short run Netflix series only about them.
A Netflix series? Was
It
that animated series?
it was animated and it was more geared towards children. It was like if you didn't know the history of this, you would think that it was a Netflix diet version of Kung Fu Panda.
God damn it, Marty. I'm stumped. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Give it to me. What is it?
There's two different names that this person goes by. One is the Samurai Rabbit. The other
What?
one is Miyamoto Usagi. So on Netflix, it's called the Usagi Chronicles.
Nada. I know nothing about that.
I didn't either. As I was
I love
reading
nerd shit,
through
but
it,
I know nothing about that.
as I was reading through the question originally, I was like, not. Oh my goodness, not Splinter. Who's the bad guy in TMNT? When
Shredder?
Shredder, thank you. The first time that I was reading through, I was like, that's Shredder. And then I was like, animals. And became friends with Leonardo because of their swordsmanship. And I was
I don't
like,
even.
I don't know what that is.
I mean, I loved those cartoons. I never read any of the comics, but I love those cartoons. I love the movies. And he was only in 2 episodes
I thought that.
across like 20 years. No, I have no fucking clue who that
See,
is.
I thought that once I got to the answer of the question, I was like, I'm pretty sure he read the comics and would know this, but it might be a tough one.
Didn't read the comics.
Well, for our listeners, not to breeze past the fact that you just lost,
Failed.
but we've been doing that frequently. For our listeners, both of us, not just you, but for our
I gotta text
listeners,
Marty.
if you want to try and stump us on some nerd related trivia for our trivial nerd suit, check us out on Instagram. Search the hashtag trivial nerd suit. We will tag each of our personal Instagram accounts so that if you want to try and stump Jake, there will be a link so that you can message myself. And if you want to try and stump myself, there will be a link to where you can message Jake. We'll give you a shout out for the question, and we will go from there. Let's get into some nerd news.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big one that has resurfaced recently about Hayden Christensen being in the talks to be the Silver Surfer for the Fantastic Four. How do you feel about that, Jake?
I don't mind here. I don't mind it at all. The problem is that it's a completely CGI character, and I feel like they would be better off. No offense to Hayden Christensen, I like him, and I want him to do really well outside of Star Wars. I'm glad his like acting career has been like skyrocketed again. So on that front, yes, go for it. But if I was the one spending the money on this kind of thing, I would definitely hire a voice actor rather than a pretty boy that you're not even gonna see. You know what I mean? Like a huge like actor that you're not even gonna actually see. I love Hayden Christensen, so I'm totally fine with it. I just think money wise, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, I completely agree. Do I want to see Hayden Christensen.
Christensen. He's a Christian like your parents, and then son like you.
Yeah, but but the way that it's spelled, I just wanted to make sure. I would love to see him in more bigger projects. I think that he was very underrated back in the day based on poor writing.
Yeah.
Because as Kenobi came out, we got to see him again and deliver
Everyone's super happy about
very
it, yeah.
dramatic lines. I want to see more of him. I don't think that this is the right role. But I want to see...
I don't care. I'd be fine with it. I would love to see him in this role. I don't care. I'm just saying from... Like, he's got an interesting voice, like, blah, blah, blah. But it just doesn't make sense to me in the grand scheme of things. Like, the guy that's playing... I always pronounce his name wrong, so you'll have to do it. The guy who's playing The Thing.
Oh, Eben Moss Bachrach?
Yeah. So, like, he's not a huge actor. He's, like, an up-and-coming actor, so they probably didn't have to spend a shit ton of money to get him to, like, play that character. You know what I mean? Like, that makes sense to me, because he's not, like, a fucking gigantic actor. I think, in my opinion, if you were gonna do Silver Surfer, especially in the direction things are going right now, you bring on somebody a little lesser known or a voice actor that would play a completely CGI character rather than bringing on Hayden Christensen, who's been in some of the biggest movies in the world. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense
exactly.
to me.
That's
good for him if he lands that role.
That's what I
yeah.
meant by it is, like, not that I don't think he's right for the role. I don't think it's the right casting choice. I have full faith that he could do it well.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a CGI character. Why not give that to a voice actor to let them explode?
Exactly.
It doesn't mean I don't want to see Hayden Christensen in the MCU going forward.
Yeah, I would love to see him as somebody else.
Or just in bigger movies or anything like that. Sorry to cut you off.
No, I was trying to think of who I'd even want him to play in the future, but I mean that's a 20-minute conversation that we can't have right now because we have too much shit to get through. But
but I completely agree. I think that there's more options, and I don't want to say better roles, but better roles for him to take on with this new resurgent fan base and appreciation for.
I agree with you that I
is.
want to see him in the MCU. That would be fucking dope. Just not as a CGI character. He's got a nice face. Let him show that thing. You know what I mean? Like, he's a nice white kid. He's got a good face.
It sounds weird, but he's aged so well.
I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. He's a nice, privileged kid. He's got a good face.
That made it worse, bud. Hate to tell it to you. No, but in all seriousness, like, he is, like, I think he's an undervalued actor because he sprung to fame when he was young with bad writing.
And he did shit movies because he was young and didn't know better.
And was a pretty face.
Yeah.
You know, so I get it. And, like, this is a
same thing happened to
role.
Brendan Fraser.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. He ruined his own career. I mean, now he's doing great.
And there are other aspects to
yeah.
Brendan Fraser and probably to Hayden Christensen that we just don't know about. But again, that could be a whole fucking episode.
Yeah. Sorry.
No.
I blew up.
No, you're totally right. Let's talk about the Oscars. Briefly.
Oscar Isaac. Oscar the Grouch.
Oscar Wilde. Yeah. That's it. No. Last week, the Oscars happened, and not only did RGA Strong, RDJ, Robert Downey Jr. Just completely
Take another shot, buddy.
No. Do you want me to start creating syllables and letters for the alphabet? No. But Robert Downey Jr. Won for Best Supporting Actor for Oppenheimer.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. He deserves it. He took it like a champ, despite how he was ridiculed and embarrassed for things that happened 20 years ago.
I don't think he was embarrassed at all. He went on stage, he accepted his award, and he spat in Jimmy Kimmel's face with his comments about it. I think he handled it
but
like a
during the
fucking
monologue,
gentleman.
you could see that he was very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I would be too.
Right.
Hey,
'cause-
you were a piece of shit when you were younger. Ha ha ha.
hey,
Yeah,
remember what
but then-
happened 20 years
But
ago?
then instead of going up on stage and be like, hey, you fucking asshole, like, why'd you bring that up? He just went up there, made another joke back at his own expense, accepted the award, and walked off stage. I think he is a
This is why
prince
he's
among
amazing.
men. Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Also, would another thing
And
that happened,
also, Kimmel can suck a fat one. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I mean, let Matt Damon on the show. Just do it.
I
No.
think that's totally made up. Like,
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
They're like best friends. They're neighbors.
yeah. They probably
Uh,
suck each other's. What?
What? Huh?
What? Uh-huh.
Huh?
Matt Damon.
America. No. That's the whole song.
You can cut that out.
I'm not
Sorry.
going to because
You have to.
I made the comment about America being no. No, one thing that a lot of people were very frustrated about, and I don't fully understand why, is that Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse lost to The Boy and the Heron for Best Animated Film.
I haven't seen it yet, so I can't say.
I've been looking for it online. I missed my chance to see it in theaters.
We saw the trailer for it in theaters together.
Yeah.
I don't remember. It was at Godzilla
Yeah.
-1. Yeah, and we were like, that looks amazing, but I haven't seen it yet. So I can't voice my opinion yet because I don't know.
But one thing that I've seen is people complaining about like, yeah, but Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was so good, which it was. Do not get us wrong on this.
I've seen it like 5 times already.
Incredible movie. But also, for Best Animated Film of the Year, they take into account Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was a sequel.
Mhm.
Where The Boy and the Heron was an original film.
Yeah.
Plus, it's from the artists and the writers that brought us like Spirited Away, Toronto, My Neighbor, Howl's Magic Moving Castle. Like, there's so much, but it's like a standalone film. If they're both incredible, you take the original story instead of the sequel. And I'm happy for it.
Yeah.
It looks incredible. And one thing that really blew my mind was that Godzilla Minus One won for Best Visual Effects.
I mean, we saw that one together, and it was bum.
So amazing.
So bum.
Also, what's cool is I think it's the first film in like 9 or 12 years. I don't remember. Somewhere in that range, where a movie won for Best Visual Effects with the lowest budget out of every single movie in the category.
It was. I feel like the past 3+ years have really prepared me for that movie because before I started dating a deaf girl, I hated subtitles. And we went and saw this movie, and I was like, this is easy. This is a great movie. I can like follow the subtitles and the movie at the same time. Because it's a foreign film, so it's all in subtitles. But we voiced our like opinions about the movie before. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna go into that right now, but it was ridiculously good. There are some very small things that you can kind of tell on that small budget, like Godzilla's eye is not moving.
Yeah.
It was very like, did that work? I don't know if it worked.
100% it did.
Cool.
But then the actual like visual effects that
Mm,
aren't those practical effects of using the original production team's
mm,
models and just making it look better where the eyes wouldn't have moved because it's
yeah.
borderline of
The
puppet.
original fucking sound, like the
Yeah.
the noise that Godzilla makes, and they amped it up. You literally felt that shit through your chest in the theater.
So
Every time he
good.
was like, "Meow," you were like, oh, shit, am I having a palpitation? What's going on here?
Oh,
Uh,
oh my
it's
pearls.
fucking cool. And then obviously they use the original bum, 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 bum. That's the
Yeah.
original like Godzilla like
Soundtrack.
theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. That
Yeah.
movie deserved that, and
Theme,
good
not
for
soundtrack.
fucking them.
You were
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, the movie is incredible.
God damn it, Chad. Say it one more fucking time. I'm gonna make you take a shot.
Incredible.
I'm gonna
Cool.
make you take a shot. It was
Mm,
so good. Yeah, yeah. So they deserve that. I'm really happy for them. I know when they got nominated, they posted like a video of their like reaction to even being nominated. And then they won. That's so fucking incredible. It's incredible.
what's
It was
really
so
cool
good.
is that every member of the the cast and crew that went to the Oscars,
Mhm.
they all brought various Godzilla like action figures to
Or like part of their wardrobe too. Someone had their shoes. One of the females had her shoes were Godzilla. Like,
yeah.
yeah, it was cool. Very cool. Proud of them. Great movie. Can't wait to watch it again.
And so many more winners from the Oscars, but we're gonna move
Yeah.
on.
Those were the nerdy ones that we wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Um, a bit of a sad moment, and we are a little delayed on this, and we are sorry about this, but also their estate did not announce it right away, just to give the respect and peace and space and stuff like that for their family. But Michael Culver did pass away a couple of weeks ago on February 27th of 2024. He was in Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. He was also in the original Zorro TV series from the early 90s. So we do want to pass along our thoughts and condolences to Michael's family, friends, and stuff like that during this. Even though it's only been a couple of weeks, that's not enough time.
Yeah.
So
Sucks.
yeah,
Yeah.
uh,
The
I feel bad that that's our in the middle of our nerd news, but
yeah.
it is something that we
'Cause then
want
we
to
have to
acknowledge.
We got to do that better because we got to put it at either the beginning and then be like, hey, now that we got the sad shit out of the way, let's get into, you know,
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I don't know.
It
We'll
was
work on
weird.
that.
We had a lot of our nerd news written out, and
Yeah.
then
We added
we
some
we
stuff.
just learned about this, and then
Yeah.
a couple more things. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll
Uh,
we'll do better. We promise.
for the-
We're sorry.
The show Avatar, the Last Airbender that just came out, the live action version of it. The girl who plays Azula, is
Elizabeth Yu.
Elizabeth Yu. Oh, you put it in there. My bad. Elizabeth Yu. She just. This is a rumor. I don't know how real it is, but there's multiple sources saying that this is true.
I
That
have
she
thoughts if
just
this is
got
true.
fired and is being recast because they asked her to lose weight before season 2, and she said no. And so they fired her, and they're recasting her as a skinnier girl. And I think that's really fucked up. I know that we voiced our opinion that we didn't care too much for her character, but it had nothing to do with her appearance. And so that's really fucked up. I don't know. What do you think about it?
Yeah, like if it's because of physicality, and even in the articles that we saw, physicality was in quotes, which is fucked to begin with. It's they're trying to be polite about the fact that she's not scrawny and starving.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
We saw even in her little interactions during the first season, which is way more than, if you look at the anime, way more than what it should have been. But it's they're taking some creative liberties, which is fine. But they still made her feel like the psychopath that she is in the animated series, which was awesome. Our I think through our conversations, our biggest concerns with how Azula was presented in the show was more about the writing than the actress, because she played a pretty wild, like psychopathic,
but they didn't
nepotism child.
They didn't even give her enough time to like really like blossom as a character. She was only in a few episodes, and in the few episodes she was only in for a couple minutes at a time. Like probably accumulatively, she was probably in that show for like 10-15 minutes.
That's generous.
Throughout the whole show. Yeah, I just don't think that that they gave her a chance. And like you said, reading it here, sorry to take it from you.
Keep going.
But if they just wrote her character better, who cares what she looks like? None of us give a shit about that. That girl's probably half my age. I am not trying to be attracted to like a teenager. It has nothing to do with what the character looks like. It is about how they present themselves and how they are written. And Chad and I have been huge advocates for female characters being written well. and I think that like if you just wrote the character better, like just do that. Who cares what she looks like? I think she's pretty. She's a kid. She's pretty. I'm not saying I want to like do anything. I'm just saying she's a pretty kid. But, I don't know. That sounds fucked up. The end of that sounded by calling her a kid. I just mean she's pretty. It's not like a whatever. She's pretty. Leave her alone. Like for her looks. Just let her be an actress. I don't know.
The fact that she's been recast because of her physical comparison to like an anime show, right?
Yeah, like a cartoon.
It is wild.
Yeah.
Like they could have written the character better. They could have written the dialogue better. They could have done so much more. And also like in we talked about this I think just last week about how in the animated show she's like a prodigy. Like incredibly talented as a firebender. But in the live action, we see her like struggling to master some fire bending techniques, right? That's not against the actors. That's 100% the writers, the producers. And honestly, like that's just straight misogyny of the showrunners, because in the animated shows, and especially like in the actual manga books that it's based off of, that's not the case. So you can't hold that against the actor for performing the role based on what was given to them. Yeah. What do you have to add to that?
Well, I was just gonna say what's really sad about it is that the cast, they did like a video of them reacting to the news that it got picked up for season 2 and 3, and she's part of that like reaction. She's super excited and stuff, and then they fired her because they were like, "Oh, you're not fit enough for this character." You know what I mean? Like, it's just, and you're saying that to a kid. You know what I mean? That's a kid. I imagine the people that are like doing the hiring and firing are not like the same age as the actors and actresses on the shows.
Or interacting with them.
So you're an adult like telling like a little kid that they're like too fat, and it's like, dude, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Like,
you're not fit enough.
That bums me out. I will give her round of applause because they did tell her that she needed to lose weight and she told them no. And that's why they're recasting her. It wasn't, And so good for her for like standing her ground on that.
Also, like, this is gonna sound weird because she's young, but like, she's not out of shape.
I mean, I think she's an adult. She has to be.
I mean, that doesn't matter. We're in our 30s, but like, it's not like I'm looking at her that way. But like seeing her on screen, I wasn't like, oh, she's too big to be this character. I was like, oh, they cast a real person to play this role. How does she act in it? And even though, in my personal opinion, I think that they introduced like my Azula, who is Elizabeth Yu's character, who we're talking about, and Ty Lee, way too early in the series. That has nothing to do with how they portrayed those roles at all. I think all three of those female Fire Nation characters that were introduced way too early played all three of those roles really well.
Yeah.
I get it. It's an interpretation. It's not supposed to be a shot for shot. They're changing things, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And I thought that all three of those actresses did well. And I think that Elizabeth Yu as Azula played that role
she just
really
didn't get a lot
well.
of screen time. And like you said, she wasn't supposed to come in until like the end of season 1 anyway, so.
But when you see her, she still has like that psychotic, sociopathic like tendency of, oh, I failed. Let me just like be super narcissistic. Yeah. And that's the point of the character. I think that
I didn't hate her at all.
The role.
So I just
I think that she did an incredible job doing it, and it's
for the record, she's 21. But as someone who's about to turn 37, anybody under the age of 35 is a kid to me. So
a kid to you?
It sounds weird when I say
I'm a child.
Are you under 35?
You should know this because your fiance is younger than I am by a year.
You guys are kids, just a bunch of kids.
So by you're a lot. No, I'm not going to go. That's.
No, I know what you were about to do.
That's a fucked up thing for me to try and make a joke out of it. It's not okay. I'm sorry.
I think Well, so we're just switching gears here. All right.
Yeah.
Um, Gatton Matarazzo, did I say that right? The kid who
I
plays
don't know how to pronounce his
Dustin
last name. Yeah,
in
but
Stranger Things. His girlfriend is Elizabeth Yu. And because she got fired for this role because of her physical appearance, he is now threatening to leave Stranger Things.
good.
Because Netflix is the one that fired her, and he's like, I work for Netflix. I'm not going to if they're firing my girlfriend for whatever. And I
For
think that's pretty dope
bullshit
with him.
reasons.
Yeah, good for him. And good for her.
Good.
Whatever.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah. Go team.
Last thing is there's a couple of things coming out this coming week, including X-Men 97 on Disney Plus.
Woo. Sorry. That's a problem. Because that was
Yeah.
just organic.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we go there. Ghostbusters, Afterlife
Hmm.
2, the Frozen Empire. I
Yeah.
paused trying to think about that. So X-Men 97 is going to be on Disney Plus starting on Thursday,
Yeah.
Wednesday,
Yep. Wednesday?
March 20th.
No. Oh. Yeah,
Maybe.
whatever. Yeah.
I don't know the dates. It's,
Whatever. Soon. This week.
There's a good possibility that this episode has come out
Today's the 16th.
afterwards.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, Wednesday. You're right.
There's a good chance that X-Men 97 came out today. And then Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yep. Which we are going to
Frozen.
see together.
Yeah.
Wait, no, we're not.
Not
I'm
this
going to
one.
see that one with Nicole.
Yeah.
I'm going to see Godzilla with you.
Yeah. Godzilla X-Con.
Nicole's not
which
going to
will-
pass up a chance to see Paul Rudd on the big screen.
Yeah,
Trust
that's fair.
me. Me neither. She doesn't know that, but me neither.
And then also one thing that I'm super stoked for is the Three Body Problem
Yeah.
on Netflix, which
Mhm.
will come out Friday of this week.
Yeah. That one looks interesting. I'm optimistic about it, but I don't know much about it, so
I don't know a
um,
lot about it
yeah.
either. It was. I'm not going to get into the personal aspect as to how I
that's
found
fine.
out about it. But yeah,
Let me tell you something about a three body problem. Don't you fucking dare! You're ruining it. Let me tell you something about a three body
I
problem.
forgot that's why we had to reword some things.
Pickled habanero, garlic, and hot sauce. That's a three body problem that isn't really a problem. And it's called Crybaby Craig's hot sauce. It's sponsor number 2. If you listen up, we'll tell you more about it. We'll tell you more about it.
Hey, you nerds. Do you love spice? Supporting small businesses? What about enhancing the flavor of your favorite foods? If you said yes to any of those, our good friends over at Crybaby Craig's have the perfect solution for you. Crybaby Craig's is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes perfectly with your favorite foods, adding the perfect amount of spice and enhancing the flavor of everything it touches. Started in Minneapolis by Craig back in 2012, Crybaby Craig's has become a Minneapolis and Minnesota staple in the sauce world. So head over to crybabycraigs.com and order yours today.
All right, we are going to talk about Imaginary, which is the new horror movie that came out. Uh, about
Horror.
imaginary friends that are actually like demons and shit like that. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, check back in, or maybe don't because it wasn't that good.
Also, but if you are a fan of Blumhouse, like horror films, you might like this.
Yeah.
We didn't.
I think that after I sat with it a little bit, I think that it was fun in the sense that it was like a cheesy, like dumb horror movie. Like I've seen a lot of like if you were to tell me that this was like a really scary movie and I should go watch it and I'm gonna think that my pants are gonna be scared off of me, I would be pissed going into this movie or coming out of this movie. I would have been like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you, going into it and like sitting with it for a couple days after watching it and realizing that it's just like a kind of cheesy,
It's like the
um,
Ring in the Ring
just
too.
kind of a fun, cheesy. I mean, it's a fucking teddy bear.
I mean, Rising of the Evil Dead as well.
Evil Dead Rise was fucking
Oh,
bomb,
Evil
dude.
Dead. Yeah, but the scariest parts of it were they were jump scares.
Watch it again by yourself. I dare you.
Okay,
Will you do it?
probably not.
Would you watch this one by yourself?
I would.
There's the difference. Um,
That's a such a valid argument because I hate like scary movies and horror films and stuff like that.
I force you to watch them.
Yeah, and I've been so resistant, and then you're like,
But what do I say?
well, there's a lot that you say. Some of them are very mean, and I don't want to repeat them.
What is
Um,
the nerd thing that I say?
we're missing out on a huge demographic of people that are nerdy for horror films that we should do stuff like this for.
I say we are the all things nerd podcast, not the I'm too scared to watch horror movie podcast.
You're you see how I
And
ignored phrasing it that way
scary
because
movies are, like you said, a huge demographic that we have to cover, whether you like it or not. If we're going to be called the All Things Nerd Podcast, this is under that umbrella. Got to do it.
it
And
is.
if you have to sit next to me and hold my hand while we do it, that's fine.
That's weird because there was in erection and I was not the one holding it.
Wait, what?
Nothing. I love you. He jerked me off in the movie.
No, I didn't.
No, he didn't.
No, I didn't. He wishes.
Sometimes. No, I'm just kidding.
Bro.
I don't.
I am not your dad. How many times do I have to tell you this?
Jesus Christ, we should not be talking about that.
I'm not him either.
Yeah, you're a more accurate representation than what a lot of people would say. Wow, we got so off topic
Less hand
so
jobby
fast.
though.
Is he though? I mean,
Lightning bolt. Boom. Dead.
I mean,
Cut all that.
no. Yeah. Can can we restart that?
Like I said, whatever.
Uh,
Well, I don't
No.
think we even got past the spoiler alert.
We
Yeah,
didn't.
it's
um, I mean, this movie is actually quite fucking funny.
yeah. It's when we walked out of it, I was like, you know what that it's a in my opinion, I haven't read that it specifically is, but it is a rendition of Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels in our notes I did Alice in Wonderland, Return to Wonderland, and Through the Looking Glass.
Mhm.
It's kind of like a culmination of those. But they made it scary.
Or they
Kinda like-
tried to. I think have you seen Return to Wonderland? That shit's creepy, dude. I would say that was
the
probably
one with
creepier than this.
Johnny Depp?
No. The originals, dude.
Oh, no. Of course
Oh.
not. Not if it's scary. No.
It wasn't supposed to be, I don't think, but
I grew up very sheltered, which is weird because I remember being like 5 years old and watching Return of the Jedi and Jurassic Park. But those aren't scary. Um,
this this movie is about. I mean, I'm not gonna break it down all the way through or anything, but it's about a like past trauma and this girl who's got an imaginary friend named Chauncey the bear. Um, and she marries into a new family. Her dad is fucked up, so they go back to her childhood home. And Chauncey the bear latches himself onto her youngest stepdaughter, and that doesn't sound like Alice in Wonderland.
named Alice though.
The youngest daughter's name is Alice, and there is this like door in the basement that they go through towards the end of the movie, and it is literally Wonderland. It is literally like the cartoon version of Wonderland. Um, the one lady,
Not even that. Sorry to cut you off,
no,
but
you're fine.
it is it's literally the impossible room
Mm,
from like pop art, pop culture
no.
of the turn of the century, just not this century. You know,
Well, and
where
then
stairways to nowhere and stuff like that. So it feels like a realistic Wonderland.
mhm.
What were you gonna say about that? I'm sorry I cut you off, but what were
No,
you
you're
gonna
fine. The even the stepmom, the main like girl in the movie, um, also one of the producers. If you want to look up her name, but the book that she's writing a children's book, and the book that she's writing is about centipede, Alice in Wonderland,
Oh, I didn't even
the
catch that
centipede.
while we were
Yeah,
watching.
there
Yeah,
are so many cues.
Molly the millipede is what
Yeah,
it is
millipede. Yeah,
called
and then
in the movie, but
and then there was this part in the movie where was like, "Oh my God, there's no way that's a coincidence," and apparently it is. In the movie, in the movie, there's like a scene where
DeWanda
the
Wise, by the
TV
way.
is on, and on the TV playing is Warm Bodies. If you know anything about the movie, Warm Bodies is with Nicholas Hoult and Teresa Palmer. Oh, I was like, I'm not going to be able to remember her name.
Oh, you
Teresa
got it though.
Palmer. And it is a rendition of Romeo and Juliet. If you haven't seen this, it's a zombie movie where the zombie's name is R, because he can't remember his full name. And the girl's name is Julie. She's human. He's a zombie. They're from opposing sides. Blah, 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 blah. It's Romeo and Juliet. And so this movie was on this TV screen in the background of the movie of Imaginary, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is a rendition of Alice in Wonderland. That's a rendition of Romeo and Juliet. That's got to be connected. It's not." Which blows my mind. And maybe it is, and we just couldn't figure it out. If you're a listener and
I
you know
mean,
more about
we
this,
we
please tell
spent
us.
like hours,
I don't know, hours. We spent it like maybe like a half an
and
hour.
yeah, I would push for the full 60 minutes. 4 inches, right? That's a lot, right? No, but we did look into it, and
Mm,
we could not find any connections
nada.
from producers, writers,
Writers,
directors,
nothing.
even like it seems like it's almost like a meta situation
It was
where
like, there's
they're
no
like
way this is a coincidence.
they're doing like a meta retelling, and
Yeah.
that was a meta retelling, so they're like
Mhm. Or
I'm
was it
I'm
just
sure,
an accident? I have no idea.
or
If you
yeah,
know more about this, please tell us, because we would love to know, and we'll give credit where it's due.
yeah.
But yeah, the movie was a huge, weird fucking thing. There's a giant, demon Chauncey is a giant teddy bear. From like a cute, creepy little teddy bear to like a giant demon teddy bear.
And
Or did
then
it just
he
manifest itself that way?
also turns into like a giant spider person, which was like a weird character that oh my god, I just had it in
Something
front of me.
Wise. Her last name's Wise.
Yeah, DeWanda Wise,
DeWanda Wise.
who plays Jessica or the stepmom. She's like a children's book author. And but like the villain of that is a giant spider, and it's because it's from her nightmares, yada yada yada. And then it turns out that maybe the spider isn't the bad guy, and just trying desperately, whatever.
It was fun. It was fun if you. It's a fun horror movie if you're not going there to be scared.
Yeah, because
There are like
there
movies
are
that
jump scares that
Yeah, you
that
jumped
got
within
me.
like the first 10 minutes of the movie.
And also, there's a time where I got up where I was like, oh, this seems calm. I'm not going to miss much. And I went to the bathroom. And I came back, and as I was walking back to my seat, there was another jump scare. And as I was walking, I was like,
Damn it!
like,
I wish I had seen that. That's funny.
it's because I paused, like, where the wall stops, and I was like, oh, this might be a creepy part. And I was like, and then it took an amount of time. And I was like, I can get to my seat and get comfortable. And as I was 2 seconds later, I got up like 2 steps, and I was like, because I was watching the entire time.
The first half of the movie I thought was actually pretty creepy.
Right.
When they got to
The
the
never
door
ever.
and into like the other realm or whatever, I lost it. I was like, "Oh, okay, this is dumb."
And they spend a lot of time there.
Yeah,
Like, that should have been half the time, and they could have made it more creepy. And this is coming from someone that I hate scary movies. I don't like them. I just don't. And the first half, I was like, oh, I feel like I got bullied into going to this movie.
You did 100%.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
That's the only way you'll fucking go to them.
And also, like, you know, I want to leave the theater with, I don't know, the sun still shining. So, you know, daylight savings helps. I'm sorry. I don't like scary movies. I didn't grow up enjoying them. I didn't grow up watching them either. So, like,
You didn't grow up at all.
no, that's fair. I just don't like them, you know. But I've gone to several now. Since I mean,
That's-
the last
that's
Voyage
generous.
of the Demeter, it wasn't really scary.
You did go to that one. That's right. I forgot about. I was like the only two I know of were this one and Evil Dead Rise. But I forgot about the last Voyage of the Demeter. You
Which
did go to
wasn't
that.
scary either.
There were some creepy elements of that fucking movie. That movie was scarier, in my opinion, than this movie.
1,000%. And also, we saw it. I mean, we already talked about it closer to the Super Bowl about Abigail.
Yeah,
And I'm excited for that movie.
that's gonna be just like a gory, like fun movie. It's
Like
not
a
gonna
monster
be.
movie.
Is it rated R? I don't remember.
If it's not, I'm gonna be so mad.
Because if it's PG-13, it's probably really not gonna be that good. If I'm being
Even
real
at
about it.
rated R, let's be honest, we could be in for
Abigail.
a huge disappointment.
If it's not rated R, I won't even go to the theaters to see it. if I'm being honest.
Yeah, but
It is rated R. Okay, so we at least know it's gonna be gory and fun. Uh, the acting is gonna be shit because we know that what's her face is in it. Um,
Cassie Lang.
that's the one. Whatever. That's her. Yeah.
That's not her real name.
It's just a
But
personal vendetta. Catherine Newton. Boo,
it
Wendy.
boo Wendy
Boo.
Dissenberger boo.
But Melissa Barrera is in it, and that makes me excited.
Oh,
So, anyways, that's not one of our talking points. I'm sorry. You brought that up.
the
Fuck you.
well, I'm just talking about that was something that we saw as a trailer, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm more excited for that than I am for this movie.
Yeah.
That's about it. I haven't been a huge fan of horror films. I'm trying,
Oh,
but
I'll make you. It's okay.
you'll okay. Uh, but
You have to.
we
For the All Things Nerd podcast,
we-
you have to watch them.
we will. I will. I have to. I will. It's a struggle, and literally through text I was like, maybe not, and you're like, but, and I was like,
You even fought me on day of.
I yeah, on day of, and I was like, yeah, well, maybe. And
You're like, well, what if we just like stay here? And I'm like, no, we're going to the movie. And you're like, but I don't want to. And I'm like,
and I even said, I was like, I'll watch it, but like maybe not today. And you're like, yeah, but like, stop. And I was like, yeah, we're going. And you even texted me, and I wasn't at the theater yet because I live close to the theater. And you're like, I'm here. I got the tickets. And I was like, and then I went. And then I was like, and I was like halfway there, and I was like, I could just turn around, right? Like, I could just like not.
you're such a wuss, dude.
I know.
Oh my god.
It's terrible. I don't know. Well, I grew up very Christian, and like the whole like.
But you're not Christian anymore. That fucking argument does not hold any fucking significance in this conversation.
I know.
Shut the fuck up.
But growing up with the fire and brimstone, like
no,
it instilled a fear of
What?
these weird things.
That don't exist, that you don't believe in.
I know.
That doesn't make sense. Your argument is shit. You're just a pussy.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I am 100% agreeing with you. It doesn't make sense. It's dumb. Why am I still scared? It doesn't make sense. 100% I agree.
We've got off the rails here.
Go watch this movie. It's not good, but it's quite funny for a scary
If you
movie.
go into it knowing that it's not like scary, it's just like,
Which is what I try to do, but then I try and make jokes because I require Jake to be with me when I see scary movies. And then he's like,
so
dude,
funny.
shut the fuck up. And I'm like, this is my coping mechanism. Don't do this to me.
You did that in Evil Dead. I see. Evil Dead was scary. I think you're.
Yeah, 100%. But you were my coping mechanism because I could make jokes to you because I knew that you would laugh and then be frustrated, but you wouldn't be like, shut the fuck up. It'd be like aggressive about it. That was really loud into the microphone. I'm so sorry to our listeners.
I literally just yelled into the microphone. You're fine.
But you
Move on. We're done.
Yeah, let's
Go watch it.
go watch this movie. We're gonna close out this episode. All right, now before we close out, we do want to touch base on our honorable mentions. So, Jake, what do you have for honorable mentions?
Oh yeah. I watched Ricky Stenicki. Uh,
Oh, you said it right this time.
I did, yeah. All the other times I was just joking around.
Yeah. No, I
You
know you
know,
were.
yeah. I do that to Nicole all the time. She gets so pissed. Um, but it's called Ricky Snicky, John Cena, Zac Efron. There's other people in there. It was I thought it was okay. It was a good one-time watch. I don't think I would like watch it again. Like it wasn't that funny. It's a typical John Cena movie. Like John
Okay.
Cena comedy movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like they're not like great, but they're like, yeah, okay, that was pretty funny. You know what I mean?
He
Does that
does
make
a
sense?
he I think that John Cena is hilarious.
Yeah, so do I.
But a
I
lot of
just
his like we're making a comedy film with John Cena. Yeah, it's that sort of thing where it's like once
yeah.
I see it, I laugh and then I don't need to see it again.
Yeah. So it's that, you know, but it's worth a watch. I'd check it out if you don't have anything better to do. Um, whatever.
Nice
Um,
way to put
I
it.
started I started watching. I only watched the first episode so far, but I started watching Shogun on Hulu. Um,
Yeah.
the first episode is brutal. It's insanely good so far. I'm stoked to keep watching it. You've watched a little more than I have.
I've
And
watched
what are
the
your
first
thoughts
two
on it?
episodes and
Yeah.
oh it yeah, it has because it's FX and then goes to Hulu. So it's like FX is like Fox's paid for it's like FX is Fox's uh, HBO basically.
hmm
So you get to see how brutal it actually gets. I've
hmm
only seen I only watched the first and second episode. And it's
How's the second episode? I haven't watched it yet.
it matches the first.
Yeah?
Um,
Fuck.
yeah,
Okay.
it's
The
pretty
only
good.
reason I haven't continued my watching on it is because my Nicole fell asleep during the first episode, and she
Mm.
was like, "Did you like it?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Okay, let me catch up." And that was like a week ago, and she hasn't caught up. So I'm probably just gonna watch it without her, because I've been waiting for her to catch up,
It's
and she's just not fucking doing it. So,
it's good.
yeah.
I don't think it's at like as good as Warrior.
Well, this is like this is real.
Yeah,
This is like
it's based on a
actual
true story
like, historical.
of
Yeah,
like
yeah,
feudal Japan, um, or
yeah.
the fall of feudal Japan. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would have to read up more on the history of it,
I
but
would love to talk to certain people that we know about it and see what they think about it. I don't want to throw their names
yeah.
out there just because.
Also because they're not
Yeah,
Japanese, but
no, I
they
know, but
have
I would
the
like to know what they think about it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Better understanding than either of us fucking do.
What? I was born and raised in the Midwest.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're frozen. No, oh,
No.
you're back.
Yeah.
You were frozen for a minute there. I was like,
You also froze
yeah.
for a second, but no, I completely agree.
I would like to see what they think about it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My other one is I think it's been on Netflix for a while now, but it's called Louder Milk. It stars Ron Livingston, and he's a recovering alcoholic that holds like a AA meetings for other struggling or recovering alcoholics. It's really fucking funny. I mean, it's really fucking funny. Funnier than I expected it to. I put it on because I didn't have anything else to watch at the time, and I was like half awake, and I was dying after the first episode, and I was like, Nicole, what do you think about this? And I made her watch the first episode again. I watched it twice to see what she thought about it, and she was dying. And unfortunately, I think it got canceled after season 3, so there's only 3 seasons of it, but it's worth a watch. It's very funny, very very funny.
Yeah. I'll I mean, I'll check it out because we were talking about it earlier off camera. And I
Yeah.
was like, and Ron Livingston, like, sound like dry comedy gold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he plays the same guy in everything,
Yeah.
realistically. But
But it's funny, you know? Um, for myself, for honorable mentions,
sorry, I should have asked you. How about you?
no,
But I
you're,
was taking
yeah.
a drink of my
How
delicious
rude. I was
cocktail
trying to
over
just
there.
like blow past the fact that you didn't ask about me. It's fine.
How about you, Chad? What were your honorable mentions?
Oh, thank you for asking. How
Oh, you're welcome.
considerate of you. Um, I've been trying to finish the X-Men animated series. I'm sure that I've seen so many of these when I was younger, but multiple months ago, I was like, X-Men 97 is coming out. Like, let's start from the beginning, get through it, and then all these releases happen. So like I put it on the back burner. So I'm trying to finish season 4 and 5 before next week. Easy to do because they're like 20-minute episodes, and one season that I have to do is like 15 episodes, and the other one's 18.
Yeah.
You know, easy to do. So I've been watching that. I did watch Argyle.
That was my other one that I couldn't remember.
I wasn't 100% correct as to how the plot twist happened when I was watching it, but I was like 90% of the way there.
Totally a sex tape.
It's yep. But like it was a little disappointing. If I have to be honest, because it's Matthew Vaughn who has kind of been
Made a bunch of other subpar movies that you like for some reason.
well. Opinions aside, between the two of us, he has been making movies based on like graphic novels, of like indie graphic novel artists and writers, and I did enjoy like the Kingsman films.
Which weren't graphic at all because they were PG-13. But
No,
keep
but
going.
they're based off of graphic novels. So you shut your mouth.
There's nothing graphic about it though.
Yeah, and that's fine. I enjoyed those ones. So when I was like, oh, he's behind this has to at least be on par with those. So like, they might not be groundbreaking cinema, but I'm gonna like it. I did not enjoy this movie, which is a bummer.
I fell asleep. Nicole and I watched it and I fell asleep to it. I woke up at the end of it and saw some weird shit and I was like, what? And Nicole was like, you're not going to like this movie. And I was like, I'll rewatch it.
You're not going to.
And
like
then I
this movie.
talked to you and you were like, it's not good. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to rewatch it. So,
Yeah, that's
which is a bummer. I love Henry Cavill. I love Sam Rockwell. I love Bryce Dallas Howard. I think Dua Lipa is fine as fuck. I don't
the
know.
first like
There's
5 minutes, and then it's
There's a
over
lot of like
for her.
good stuff about it, but
Yeah, it
know.
is one of the most mid films I've ever seen. At least in the past several years.
How dare you? How dare you give Henry Cavill a fucking whatever you call that haircut? High top, flat top?
Flat top, high fade? Yeah, hell yeah.
No.
Terrible.
Do not do that. to Henry Cavill. You
It
sons of
looked
bitches.
bad in every scene. And then I watched Poor Things.
Yeah. I didn't know that you did. You never said anything to me about it, but I saw it on your list here and I was like, son of a bitch. Oh,
This
you did tell me you watched it.
this
Because Emma
movie,
Stone's like super naked like the whole time.
yeah, for a
You
lot of
did
it,
tell me.
it
Yeah.
it these are
How have I not watched this yet?
literally word for word what I wrote down for my notes for this film is it is horny Frankenstein's pretty women, Frankenstein's monster, but what the fucking steampunk fucking fuck. Yet, oh my god, what a chaotic allegory of the human experience and more so the experience of women. What a wildly amazing and fucked up movie. Those were my notes, word for word. This movie, like, has you being like, what the fuck? Oh my god, this is incredible. What the fuck? That seems derivative. What the fuck? Oh my god, what the fuck? But the movie's overall, like,
I mean, she won an Oscar for it, didn't she?
yeah.
Yeah.
It,
So,
I mean, the movie as a whole, I would recommend, but just know that it is weird, fantastical, steampunk. Like, what the hell? But it's almost as if Frankenstein's monster was a woman and then has to experience all of what it means to be a woman, which I don't know. I'm a dude. But it's so good. But it's weird.
check it out. I'll
But
check it
it's
out for
good
sure.
and weird. I would recommend it. Despite all of our honorable mentions, everything, if you're still listening, we appreciate it so much. If you want to dive further into what we are doing, check out buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd. It's a subscription on a monthly basis where you give us your money and we appreciate it. But you get behind the scenes, extended interviews, stuff like that. You also get some more behind the scenes of our other podcasts, which I'm pretty proud about. Also, we want to give a huge shout out to Marty over at DigiCat Tech. He's revamped our website. He's helping us with branding and so much more. So if that's something that you guys need as listeners, entrepreneurs, whatever our listeners are, reach out to him. He's a wizard. He will work with you for the minutia of everything. We love him. Also check out the Kobolds in the Basement podcast. It's another All Things Nerd production. It's a D&D live play podcast. All of that. But at the end of the day, we love you all. And Jake, bring it home.
Sorry. I was literally texting Marty over at Digitech about the trivia question.
Yeah.
And anyways, this has been the All Things Nerd podcast.